Hey everyone, this is Amanda from devotioninaction.com, and I'm here with just a square of cardstock and some gelatos to create a tip-in for John 4 because I already had entries on that page. This gelato color is snow cone, this light blue. These are from the Brights, the Faber-Castell Gelatos Bright set. This is boysenberry, the dark blue color, and margarita mix. It's kind of like a bright, light greenish yellow. And I just put a little bit of those. I'm spritzing them with just plain water and just using my finger to kind of activate those colors in the water. And then I'm doing this very technical technique here of flipping the paper over and dipping it in that color. I just wanted a light kind of marbled color wash on the background of this tip-in. And I like how that turned out. I'm going to hit it with my heat tool to set that. This piece of cardstock I actually pulled out of a sketching journal, mixed media journal that I had. And so the back of it already had some pink and some yellow on it. So I'm going to take the back and kind of dip it in the paint too to kind of blend those colors that were already there. On the back of this tip-in, I'm going to journal just my thoughts about what the front is about. And so I just wanted it to look nice as a background for my writing. On the front here, I'm going to do some word art using some stamps. So I pulled out my Clearly Kelly outline alphabet stamps and an Illustrated Faith like background set, maybe Basic Elements 12. I don't remember what it's called exactly. And an acrylic block. If you've never used this type of stamp, they are so cool. I grew up with the wooden block stamps and you never knew if you had it lined up. I love that there's a light grid on this see-through acrylic block. So you can line up your letters to make words and they're always straight. And just remember when you flip it over, it will be the right way. So you want to work from the right to the left if you want your word to read left to right like we read in English. So I am basically putting on there the letters for finish the work. And you'll notice finish has two eyes and there's one eye stamp. But at the bottom, there's some interesting like background shapes for straight lines and circles if you want to create backgrounds or whatever for some of your pictures. So I'm kind of looking at this, seeing what I like, and I chose one of those backgrounds as one of my eyes. I kind of like to do that. It makes it easier. You can always come back in and leave the space for an eye and put it in later. I think you'll see me do that with something. I don't remember what it was though. But here we go. Oh yeah, the H. I'm looking at that, trying to make sure I have the right spacing on that. So I made sure I had the right spacing for the H and then moved it back up to the finish. And in a moment, you'll see me put the H back in. So now I'm just getting that spacing right and lining them up on those grid lines. This says finish the work, and there's a whole devotional that I wrote about John 4 and the story of Jesus talking about finishing his Father's work. And so I would love for you to hop on over and read that or watch the video. I'll link to that below in the description box. And so now that I've got those words on there, I'm going to grab some ink pads and lay them out. I got my VersaFine for Onyx Black for the black ink, and here's a little acrylic block, just a different size, and I knew I wanted to do a background in some gray crosses, like this Illustrated Faith set of crosses. I'm having an awful time getting that off of that backer, but it's okay. And you'll see I'm rubbing it on my wrist. I haven't used the stamp very much, and that just kind of dirties it up and helps it to hold the ink better. And that's an Illustrated Faith gray ink pad that came with one of the older sets. I've had it for a while now, so I don't even know if it's available anymore, but if it is, I'll link to it. And I just want to give kind of these crosses around the edges. I thought it would add some visual interest and kind of stand out a little bit. And then I'm going to do the words in black so they really jump out from the center. VersaFine ink it really stays in place. It gives you a nice crisp black color. I wasn't sure what else I was going to do. And so I to this, and so I wanted to go ahead and use something that would give me a nice dark black crisp look and would really stay in place no matter what I did otherwise. So there you go. That's what I chose. Here's that H that I was talking about. Just put it on the little block and dip it in that black ink right there. And then because you can see through these blocks, I can line it up. Now, it does not look lined up from the viewpoint of the camera, but I was kind of more over the thing and see how it lines up with the words. So there we go. Finish the work. This tip-in is a super easy way to do this. It's it's like beginner 101 of Bible art journaling. Super, super, super simple, but really fun. And it doesn't take very long to get those thoughts that God brings out to you when you're reading the Bible into your Bible in this way. You could do it straight on the Bible page. I just had already put something there. Here I'm grabbing that boysenberry again and just putting some of that color. You'll notice I kind of accidentally knocked off a little tiny sliver of that color. Well, that just means that's going to be more color to activate. So then I stopped rubbing it in there and just kept it there. And then I grabbed, there's like a little paintbrush that came with this Faber-Castell Bright set. And I'm going to activate that with a little bit of water. And I'm going to use that paintbrush to color in these letters. So I had to make sure that I had a paintbrush that really had a fine edge on it to be able to color in those tiny spaces. And what you saw me doing with that paper towel is when I sprayed the water on the boysenberry gelato rubbing, then I accidentally sprayed some water on the top of the tip-in, which if I had been smart, I would have moved in the first place, but it didn't hurt anything. I just dabbed that water off with the paper towel before I went on to coloring. I don't want too much water on this brush because I don't want it to run everywhere. I want to be able to color in the letters and keep it inside the lining. So just barely damp with that color, and you'll see it's filling in those colors nicely. I didn't want a super dark color here. I just wanted this light, kind of ethereal look to this tip-in. And the colors that I'm using, these blues and greens, yellowish colors, are in the entries that are in the facing pages that this tip-in is going to be on. So it kind of coordinates with everything else going on in my Bible right then. That's why I chose these colors. They don't really have anything to do with finish the work. I just like them, and I had obviously been using them in John 3 and 4. So there you go. And I just hit that with the heat tool to kind of set that color, and it is good to go on the front. Now see this back, I have this splotchety color, and I wanted to kind of knock that down a little bit, not have it be quite so much contrast in the light versus the dark areas. So I'm just bringing in some of that boysenberry. I also didn't really want to waste the gelato color that I had sitting there because I'm pretty frugal, and I'm like, oh, I have extra color here. And so I decided to add some on the back of this to kind of, I don't know, even that out a little bit, make it have a border, and that the splotchiness, that's a technical term, can you tell, wouldn't be quite so much contrasting to the lighter background. And here's how it turned out. My journaling was private on the back. So I hope you enjoyed it and that you will create in your Bible. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.